Dear listeners, welcome to a new episode of Wise Old Age Stories, the space where we address important, complex, and often sensitive topics, especially for individuals over 50. Today, we'll explore a subject that raises questions, doubts, and sometimes even tensions in relationships. What does it mean when your wife doesn't want to have anal sex with you? I want to acknowledge that this is a delicate topic, and I will address it with the utmost respect, drawing on my experience as a sexologist and widely recognized psychological and medical knowledge. I hope this discussion provides clarity and valuable tools to strengthen your relationships. Understanding intimacy in relationships. In a relationship, intimacy is not just about physical activity. It's much more than that. Intimacy encompasses emotional connection, mutual trust, and respect for each other's boundaries and desires. Over the years, it's natural for couples to experience changes in their sexual needs and preferences. One of these changes may manifest as your wife's reluctance to engage in certain practices, such as anal sex. But what does it really mean when your wife doesn't want to have anal sex? Anal sex and different perspectives. First, it's essential to understand that anal sex is a sexual practice that not everyone finds enjoyable or acceptable, and that's completely normal. Studies by reputable sexual health institutions show that 60% to 70% of women express little to no interest in this practice. This preference does not necessarily indicate a problem in the relationship or a lack of interest in the partner. Instead, it may be linked to psychological, emotional, cultural, or even physical factors. Psychological and emotional factors. From a psychological perspective, anal sex can evoke feelings of discomfort or anxiety in some women. This may be related to past experiences, personal values, or cultural perceptions. For example, negative past experiences. A woman who has had an uncomfortable or painful experience with anal sex may develop a natural aversion to it. Cultural stigma. In many cultures, anal sex is still considered taboo, inappropriate, or even shameful. This can lead a woman to reject the practice, viewing it as contrary to her personal or moral values. Additionally, some women perceive anal sex as an invasion of their intimacy in a way that other sexual acts do not. This sense of vulnerability may lead them to resist the practice. It's also important to acknowledge the role of societal pressures. Many women grow up with conflicting messages about what is acceptable in their sexual relationships. These mixed signals can create confusion or resistance when they are faced with requests for practices they feel uncertain about or unprepared for. The importance of communication in a relationship. In these situations, open and honest communication becomes fundamental. It's important to talk to your partner from a place of respect, ask about her feelings, and listen without judgment. These types of conversations allow both partners to better understand their desires and boundaries. For example, ask how she feels about the practice in question. Share your thoughts calmly and respectfully. Find agreements that strengthen the connection without pressuring or forcing situations. Remember that communication is not just about what you say, but also how you say it. Using compassionate language and showing genuine interest in her perspective can help foster trust and openness. Physical considerations. From a physical perspective, anal sex can be uncomfortable or even painful if not approached with proper care. It's crucial to understand that the anatomy of the anus differs from that of the vagina. The anus does not produce natural lubrication, so using an appropriate lubricant is essential to avoid discomfort or injury. Specific medical conditions such as hemorrhoids, anal fissures, or pelvic floor problems can make this practice particularly uncomfortable. If your wife experiences pain or discomfort, it's important for both partners to understand these physical factors before considering this practice. Additionally, preparation and technique are essential to ensure that any sexual activity is consensual, safe, and comfortable. Rushing or ignoring your partner's feelings can lead to physical harm and emotional distance. Cultural and religious values. Cultural and religious values also play a significant role. In many cultures and religions, anal sex is viewed as taboo or even sinful. Women who have grown up with these beliefs may experience guilt or shame when considering this practice. It's essential to respect these beliefs. Trying to persuade her to do something that goes against her values can severely damage the trust and dynamics of the relationship. Consider discussing these cultural or religious influences with your partner. Understanding the deeper reasons behind her discomfort can help both of you navigate the situation with empathy and mutual respect. Exploring alternatives to strengthen intimacy. If anal sex is not an option for your relationship, focus on the many other ways to maintain and deepen intimacy. Intimacy is not a one-size-fits-all concept. It can be expressed in countless ways. Emotional bonding, spend quality time together, share your feelings openly, and create a safe emotional space where both partners feel valued. Physical affection, explore other forms of physical closeness, such as cuddling, massages, or new sexual practices that both partners find enjoyable. Shared experiences, engage in activities that build connection, such as traveling, cooking together, or taking a class as a couple. By shifting the focus from what is not possible to what is meaningful and achievable, couples can find new ways to grow closer. When professional help is needed. If this topic remains a source of tension or misunderstanding, seeking the guidance of a sex therapist or couples counselor can be incredibly helpful. A professional can provide tools to improve communication, strategies to address emotional barriers, insights into how to rebuild trust and intimacy. Don't hesitate to reach out for support. It's a sign of strength, not weakness, to seek help when navigating complex issues in your relationship. Conclusion: respect and understanding are key. Dear listeners, sexual satisfaction in a long-term relationship is not always about fulfilling every fantasy or desire. It's more about finding a balance where both partners feel comfortable, loved, and respected. Remember that every relationship is unique. What works for one couple may not work for another. The essential thing is to maintain open communication, show empathy, and work together to overcome any challenges. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Wise Old Age Stories. I hope this discussion has been helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to continue exploring important topics about relationships, intimacy, and well-being in every stage of life. Until next time, and remember, respect and communication are the foundations of any lasting and happy relationship.